Hi everyone! Today I wanted to share a really quick video. I am behind in making my Easter cards, so I'm gonna make these really fast cards, and I thought I would share the idea with you. It's probably too late for you to get the stamp set in time for this Easter, but you can do it for next Easter, or if you already have it and you haven't figured out exactly what you wanted to do with it, maybe give this idea a try. So I was wondering how to kind of color the images a little softly, and I thought I would use my blender pen. I don't know if you've been watching some of my videos recently, but I've been using my blender pen again and again and again. So I'm going to do it again today. So I'm using the Rejoice in Him stamp set. This is from the mini catalog and is currently in the mini catalog retires at the end of the month. So this is the last time you'll be able to get this stamp set. It's really a nice one, and I'm just going to do something really simple with it. So I am going to, I cut out already some of these evening evergreen circles and also some basic white circles. I need 2 of each. And then I need some scrap white for some of the palm branches. So what I'm going to do is stamp my face in soft suede. This is a retiring color. I'm using all retiring things. So this is a retiring color. I really like it, and I will miss using it. However, they're adding a new color called Pecan Pie, and it's very similar. So I think that it'll be a great substitute for soft suede. Okay. Now I'm just going to take a blender pen, and if you haven't seen blender pen videos, these come in a pack of 3, and they just contain a clear solution. I think it's got something kind of like glycerin in it, and all you need to do is you can use these many different ways. I did a whole video on it, but the way I'm using it today is I'm just going to use this little clear solution to pick up some ink from within my ink pad. If you don't have any ink in your ink pad, you can get some by taking a block and pressing it down into the pad and picking up ink on here and using that kind of as a palette. But I always have kind of messy ink pads, so I'm just going to use that. I'm just going to kind of just do a soft coloring here on the garment of Jesus here. Just kind of give some color to the fold, but I'm just going to leave soft suede as the only color. Like so. I'm using one of my oldest blender pens because I knew I wanted such a super soft coloring, and so there we go, and I've colored that. Now I'm gonna do on a scrap piece looks like a folded scrap piece. I'm gonna do kind of the same thing. I'm gonna use the palm branch this time and another retiring color, Evening Evergreen. And this time, rather than use the ink on the inside of my lid, because there really wasn't much there, you can pick ink off of your block. Look how inky my block is. Might as well use it. So when you use blender pens, when you first put that pen down, especially when you've dipped it in that deep ink, it's going to be a dark, strong color. I don't necessarily want that on my whole leaf. So I'm going to do that towards the center of the leaf where it touches the stem. And that way it's darkest there. And then as that ink has kind of come off my pen, I will go upward, so that's where the lighter color is. Like that. So dark, dark, and then lighter, lighter. That's the nice thing about these blender pens. you can get darks and lights. See, here's that dark, and as you go forward, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. And like I said, I have a whole video on these blender pens and all different ways to use it, because you can use it with ink, you can use them with your watercolor pencils, you can use them with the pastels. It's a fun little pen. You know, if you have one of these pens on hand on your desk and you ever get ink on the edges like this, like I did, and I'm going to cut these out so it wouldn't have mattered had I gotten like that outline, but if you take your blender pens before stamping, you can take that ink off the edge, and that way when you go to stamp, you won't have it. You won't have that extra ink ring around your image that you don't want. Alright, I'm going to do these on fast forward. To clean a blender pen, all you do is kind of rub it against a piece of paper until that color goes away. And sometimes the tips get dyed a certain color, and that's okay. You can still then use this. I would use this pen again in yellow, any color. And I just put my lid on, stick it back on my little marker wall there, and I'll just use it again and again. Okay, I'm going to cut these out, and I will do that on fast forward. Okay, now I'm going to do my background paper here, and I'm using this called Fancy Flora, and what it is, it's paper, and they've painted, in fact, on actual canvas, the artist who designed these papers painted with a palette knife and thicker paint, and made these really fun three-dimensional textures on that canvas, and then they scanned the canvases, and there's some really beautiful paper here. This is being retired as well. Look at that one. Just real fun. I thought this was a good one. And I want 2 sheets out of this, 2 backgrounds. So I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4 and 3. This is 6 by 6, so that's cutting it in half. So everything I am using here is retiring. Some of it will go on sale April 4th, so be sure to check online on April 4th. There'll be a link at my blog and at my Facebook page, and you can see what will be on special. It's called the Last Chance List, and that's because all these are retiring products. It'll be your last chance to get them. They're actually while supplies last right now, even though the sale hasn't quite started. People know what's going to be on sale. In fact, I've got the list up what's going to be on sale at my blog right now, and you can check it out and they can see what's going to be on sale. Some of the items, they didn't even mark them down because they have very little stock left, so they're not going to be marked down. Some items, however, are going to be up to 60% off, so you might want to go to my blog and check out that last chance list, see what's going, see what's going to be on sale, see what's not marked down. Usually it's inks and papers that are not marked down because they don't have very many left, and people really start to really love certain colors, so then they stock up so they know that they don't have to put the colors on sale because the colors are going to go right away. So you can see what colors are going to be gone, although who knows, maybe there's, I think there actually were some colors that are slightly discounted. And they're reconfiguring some colors. We're getting new colors, some new colors, some retiring colors. And that means things like the Stampin' Pastels. These are retiring, but I'm breaking out of what I'm doing, but Mango Melody's retiring, so they had to reconfigure these and they added Flirty Flamingo. So the old color combo is going to be discounted. And if you like our watercolor pencils, those will be discounted. I'm going to grab this scrap. I love using up my scraps, and I'm down to the end of my of my evening evergreen paper, so I have to use scraps. I literally have scraps left. That's it. All right, I'm going to use this He Is Risen. I'm going to stamp it. I need 2 of these, so I'm going to do it twice. And I'm going to emboss this in white. And now I'm just trimming these down, and I'm not really worrying too much about the size. I'm just looking what looks good. And that's how I like using my scraps. Some of you with a really keen eye might have noticed that I'm using an old embossing powder. That's actually called Winter White. It's a little thicker, and when I'm making cards that go to family members and not customers, I tend to use some products that are older and retired. So that's why these are Winter White, and they will go down like this. It's funny, sometimes I think, no one will notice, and then when I think that, I'll get a comment. But that's why I know that this is a retired one. Okay. So I am adding some dimensionals just to the side here because it's already popped up here and I need to reach that level. And there we go. And then let's put some of those palm branches. I cut 2 for each card. And I'm gonna stick 1, 2, and then I'm gonna use dimensionals for this one. There we go. And then on the inside, I'm going to use a couple more stamps from the stamp set. I'm going to use the Sentiment and the Dove. So I'm going to stamp the Sentiment in Evening Evergreen. And the Dove in Smoky Slate. Sorry, I'm off camera. I'm just putting these down and I am done. I hope that you like the card. I hope that you've got some tips on blender pens. And be sure to go to my blog, check out that last chance list, see what's retiring. Thanks so much for watching.